So someone said they want to inspect your roof for hail damage. All right, they probably knocked on your door and said, hey, we're in the neighborhood, we're doing work, you have hail damage, we're gonna check it out for you for free, we'll do a free inspection. What does that mean? I get this question quite a bit, and it's a good question, it's a very legitimate one. So I don't know you, I don't really know what hail damage means. When was the last time you were on your roof? Do you know what hail damage looks like? Do you even know what your roof looks like? Most people don't. Why would you? So it's a good question, and people have a good reason to be wary and a little bit cautious when someone that they don't know just shows up and says they're going to give them a free inspection and get them a new roof paid for by the insurance company. So today, I'm actually going to be taking you up on the roof with me to take a look at what hail actually looks like and what that inspection is actually about. Now, just a reminder, I'm a Hague certified storm inspector. So I would recommend if anyone does knock on your door or give you a call and say, hey, let me look at your roof, ask them, what kind of certification do you have? Are you Hague certified? How long have you been doing this? Because the vast majority of people who go up on roofs and do a hail inspection have no idea what they're talking about. They're looking for quick, free money. They want you to sign a contract, and they know that insurance companies might pay for it, so they're going to tell you you've got hail damage no matter what. So be careful who you let on your roof. There are fraudulent people who will actually get up there and cause damage. People have been known to take ball peen hammers and ball bearings and create hail damage. I'm not saying everyone does that, but it does happen, so be cautious. You wouldn't let a high school student who has 2 years of high school shop rummage around in your breaker box and start yanking on wires because, hey, he knows, he's kind of like an electrician. No, he's not. He's not. This is a real thing. It's a legitimate thing, but you got to know what you're talking about. So once you're actually on the roof, you're going to start looking for the collateral damage. But let's start with soft metals. So let's start right here. We've got a aluminum power fan here, pretty rusted up, but I just took the chalk and look what we've got here. I can actually take my tape measure and see exactly how big that hail was. This was nearly 2-inch diameter hail. It takes 1-inch diameter hail, according to Hague standards, to damage a laminate 30-year shingle like this. If it's a flat 3-tab, it's even less. It's about 1 inch or bigger. So we know from this, there's definitely hail that was big enough and dense enough to cause damage. If it can cause damage to a metal power fan, it can cause damage to a soft asphalt shingle. Next thing we're going to look at here is the Skylight. Now this is one of the older Skylights. It doesn't have the aluminum frame around it. This is actually a hardened plastic. But take a look at this. Even with the chalk, let me see. Yeah, right down here. You see this spray pattern in the chalk right here on the lid? That's showing us we've got microfractures on the inside of it. Same right here. You see this sunburst pattern that's coming out there? Damaged plastic by the hail. Now that's not visible to the naked eye and it may not seem like a big deal, but the important thing is, legitimately, we can talk to the insurance company and say, this alters the form, function, and lifespan of the item, and therefore it's covered under the policy for hail damage. So this is going to get replaced completely. A lot of people don't know to look for that. They don't know how to identify it or how to not argue, but present it in a good way to the adjuster to make sure it gets covered. But legitimately, this is covered by the insurance company because it's hail damage. So this is the final step of what the adjuster is going to look for when he comes out and takes a look at your roof. Field shingles to see what's actually going on here. But up to now, we've painted the picture. We know the direction of the storm from the spatter, from the hits on the aluminum siding, from the hits here to the power vent. We know exactly where it came from. We know how big it was. We know how dense it was. Right? So now that we've painted that picture and we know exactly what happened, let's corroborate it. And we're going to do a test square. This is a 10 by 10, 100 square feet. Every insurance carrier has a different parameter for how many hits they need inside a test square, and they're going to do one for every slope. So they're not going to just say, okay, the roof got damaged by the whole roof. They're going to look at it by slopes. So on this one, we know the storm came from this direction. So the most likely place that we're going to find it, and we found it, is right here. Okay. So I want to show you a couple of things because in my time working on the insurance side, One of the biggest frustrations that every adjuster just gets sick and tired of is contractors who don't know what hail really looks like. And they see all kinds of things on the shingles, and immediately the assumption is, hey, that's hail! Okay, not always. So you have to know the difference, and you have to be able to differentiate them. So I've got two really great examples right here. Let me show you this first one. I put a B here for blister. Just because you see a circular granular loss on a shingle, that doesn't mean it's hail. And in this case, it's absolutely not. Why? Because a blister it's from heat, and it's actually going to pop. Eventually it raises up and then it pops with the heat, and it leaves some pretty telltale signs. So in the middle of a blister, you're gonna have no granules left, whereas with hail, you're always gonna have some granules left and pushed into the asphalt itself. So also the sides of it, I don't know if you can tell from here, but they're raised and they're sharp. It's like a cavity with a wall around it. That's not hail. Hail doesn't do that. Hail is round, it's spherical. So it actually pushes in more in the center and less as it moves out. So this is absolutely a blister that is not hail. And it's crucial that your contractor know the difference, because otherwise when you're on the roof with an adjuster, you look like a fool. And you're gonna have much less likelihood of being able to point out things that are legitimate and should be covered. Especially things that might be a gray area, that might be a judgment call. If you can show the adjuster that, hey, I know what I'm talking about, and I know when it's a gray area. I know when it's a judgment call. But hey, here's my judgment call, what's yours? Most adjusters are very reasonable, and they know they're supposed to give the benefit of the doubt to the homeowner. But you want a contractor who isn't just ticking him off and being belligerent and pointing to everything as hail, okay? Now here's an actual hail head. This is perfect. We've got spongy softness right here in the center of it. We've got granules still left in the middle of it. It's very soft compared to the rest of the shingle. So if we were to break the seal underneath, we would see a spider web shaped crack actually in the back of the fiberglass mat. That is classic perfect hail damage, and also it's got a star-shaped pattern ringing out around it with missing granules. So that's exactly what we're looking for. That's hail damage.